I do want to clarify real quick. I don't like when it comes to me working with financial advisors and me not working with them. Well, they're still going to have common questions. I still get asked stuff and I still answer that. So, the difference between those I work with and those I don't are just that those that I work with, I can stay in contact with, and I do stay in contact with to figure out, did it work? Is it not? Where can we improve? That kind of thing. It goes from a consultant to a coach. But, anyways, the biggest challenge that I face, I'm going to frame this as the construction triangle. Okay, this is something that when I look at advisors, and typically it's when it comes to the biggest challenge, it's not trying to help them do something new. It's trying to convince them and help them understand, and you got to do this very delicately, that sometimes what they're doing is not the best. Okay, and that's a very, very polite way to put it. Sometimes what they're doing is absolutely terrible, but they just have no idea, right? It's the things like, well, that's just how I've always been doing it. So here's my advice to you. And this is the same advice that I give to them too. When you focus on fundamentals, okay, and fundamentals are really important, but sometimes those fundamentals that you're doing day in and day out, they become weak or lackluster, and it does fall into that trap of, well, that's just always how we've done it. Okay, pause and ask yourself, what needs to be deconstructed and then reconstructed in your business before we hit 2023? Okay, sincerely, what are you doing now that's just happening that you know could be better? Deconstruct it, break it down, and then reconstruct it. Now, I challenge you, when you point out those fundamentals, you're going to ask yourself some of these questions here. You might ask yourself, does it make sense to still do it this way? Does it make sense why we're even doing this in the first place? Do we know why we're doing it this way? How do we improve the weakest piece of this entire process? Or can we do it better? What do we know now? Knowing what we know now, can we do this better? Okay, ask yourself those questions and do the exercise. Then rewrite and answer the above questions as such, or the previously stated questions as such. Does it make more sense doing it that way or not? Have you grown or improved since you started doing it the new way? Is there a really weak piece of that entire process, or is it consistently weak? And then lastly, the important one is it better now? Okay, deconstruct what's become monotonous, reconstruct foundations, and construct further to continually enhance it. So when I work with advisors, that could be their digital marketing. Okay, and to them, again, digital marketing is a convoluted term. They could be thinking digital marketing is just having a Facebook page. But deconstruct everything you're doing on digital marketing, reconstruct it, and then continually grow. Okay, I'm actually in the process of doing that right now, literally. I'm deconstructing everything I'm doing to rebuild it and reconstruct it so it can grow higher and it can be built higher. Okay, it could be a sales process. It could be your team management process, your communication with your team members, and it could be your appointment process. Like, there's so many processes that we fall into in this business that we need to set an appointment. Well, let's just do a phone call to set it. We need to, we need to run this digital campaign. Let's just use the same company. Like, don't fall into that trap. Okay. What needs to be deconstructed and reconstructed in your business before 2023? When I ask advisors that, I get a lot of hesitations and a lot of I don't knows. So when we really dig into it, they realize two really, really common things. Number one is nothing's truly broken. Okay, and that's really big. Nothing is probably broken in your business. But the second thing they realize is someone out there is always going to be doing it better than you. You might think your radio show is the best in the world. Someone's doing it better than you. Your appointment setting process, your team management, your software you're using in your sales process, doesn't matter. Someone's doing it better than you. Stay hungry with it and be willing to learn from them. Be willing to learn from others. So that's my most difficult, challenging question that tends to come up frequently. Then I have to walk them through the construction triangle in a very deep level.